I don't think there was anyone new who bought this red and white tier tray kit. So I'm just going to show you how to do the car piece and the tassel. If you need a refresher or have a question on a specific piece, then please reach out to me and I am happy to either do a video on that piece or walk you through it. So I've already painted my piece and I've stuck the ring around the edge. So these are the pieces for the truck. You have this one. This is like the tailgate. This is the top of the truck. And then these two pieces, you can paint them or leave them blank. You're not going to be able to see them. So either way. So what I like to do is lay my truck out. So I'm using this bottom shiplap line right here to kind of eyeball to make it straight. And then I would put the top, I think I'm just going to lay it along that top shiplap line to make that even. So I'm going to pick this piece up, peel off the adhesive backing, and then I'm just gonna have the wheels touch the ring. You can have it set off, but just to help keep it even. I'm sorry that the lighting isn't great. It is so cloudy and snowy and everything today. So I don't have any natural light coming through. Okay, and then I'm just going to eyeball to keep it as even as I can up here. And press down. Okay, so these two pieces that I did not paint, they're spacers because we needed a space so that we can set these three pieces into. So just peel the backing off. And then I'm just going to line it up with the inside edge right here. And then press down. And then this one is going on top. If I only did one spacer, it would be the exact width of these pieces. And you would have to really shove them in there and they might get stuck. So I did two spaces. And then the tailgate just covers that up. So I'm just going to, again, line it up so you can see these edges are all lined up. So before I press down, I just kind of feel with my fingertips to make sure that it looks good. And I'm going to press down. And then the Mary, just for a fun little decoration on that tailgate. Just gonna eyeball it to make it even. And then these pieces, I just set mine in. So I actually put in kind of at an angle, the present, the tree, and then I set him in there. So they can be moved around. You could glue them in if you wanted. I didn't put any adhesive backing on them just because there's only little pieces that touch. They're kind of sitting at kind of all cockeyed. And so I didn't think that it was, they were able to be stuck down. So that piece is finished. Now let's do our tassel for a tag. Where did I set mine? Right here. Okay. So I'm going to press pause because I actually forgot to get beads. So let me go grab those. Okay, so for your tag, it came with 3 different sizes of string. One really small piece, a mid-sized piece, and then a really long piece. So we are going to start by making the tassel. And so I'm going to start with the small piece set aside and then the really long one. So I am going to take the end of that long string and I'm just going to have it like kind of extend over my palm, about that much. And then I spread my fingers because I have a small hand. And then I'm just going to start wrapping it around my fingers until I get to the end. Okay. Then I'm going to carefully slide it off my hand. And then, so you have this loop. And then I try to make the ends match. If they don't, it's okay because you can trim them. And then I'm just going to pinch at the top to create, so like this bottom hole is a lot bigger, this top hole. So this is gonna be your tassel, so you want more string down there. You're gonna take your smallest piece, and I leave out a little bit so I have something to tie on. And I am just going to start wrapping it really tight around a few times. It doesn't have to be a lot, but, and then I'm gonna tie it into a really tight knot. Hopefully it's lighter. It's showing lighter on the video than it is on my phone because it is a super cloudy day. Okay, then I am going to get a pencil. This thin baker's twine, I like it because it has fun colors, but it is super thin, so it doesn't hold its shape. And I just pulled that out, which is good because then you can see how you can kind of fix it if you do that. So I am going to put my pencil through this whole loop. Make sure that you catch every single string. If you miss one, like let's say I didn't put that within the pencil, if I start pulling down on these to even them out, I'm gonna pull it all the way through. So I need to find which string had that piece that normally you could just pull down, but since I pulled this piece out, I need to find which string and then pull it back. Okay, I'm gonna press pause while I go through and pull these strings so you don't have to watch me do that. Okay, I should have had more patience. It was the very next string I pulled. So, okay, so then I'm gonna take the pencil out. The reason I put the pencil in there is because you need like an eye to be able to thread your string through. So that is where we're going to take our mid-length string. I'm going to get 2 pieces of Scotch tape. This is just gonna make it so much easier to thread things through. And I'm just going to pinch it around both ends of the string. Using Scotch tape is way easier. I, just like last month, could not find my Scotch tape. My kids take it and then it's gone. So I'm using packing tape, which is a little bit more bulky to work with. Okay, so now that both ends are wrapped, just take one of the ends, it doesn't matter, and put it through that eye and then tie it into a knot. I'm going to be careful not to pull the tape off because I want to keep it on at least for a little while. Okay, so now that I have that tied, I'm going to go ahead and make my tassel. So all I'm going to do is separate so that I have all those strings. I'm going to take my scissors and just cut through to create the open ends. Let me see if I missed any. It's so much easier with the brown twine because it holds its shape. Okay, so I got it all. And then I am going to, I'm looking to see if I need to. Yes, I'm going to even it up a little bit without cutting your mid-length string. I'm just going to go ahead and trim along here just so that it's a little bit more even. And then this string that I tied a knot, I'm going to trim that. Do not trim all the way to the knot or else it's gonna come undone, but I don't want it hanging out a couple of inches. Okay, now let's start stringing our beads. This is where the tape is the most important, because if you didn't have it, it would just fray. There's no way you'd be able to get it through. I'm gonna string through a few and then show you why I left the tape on. This is where my tweezers come in handy. Okay, so you can either trim this close to the tassel, but I like to just go through and thread it through the beads. It provides more stability, plus you're preventing like possibly unraveling if you trim too close to the knot by accident. And if that's the case, then you would have to get more string basically, because there's really no way to fix it after that. So that way you can't see it, it's hidden inside your beads. Or like I say, if you really want to, you can just trim it. Okay, I will press pause. You don't have to keep watching me throw my tweezers around while I string the rest of these, and then we will finish up. Okay, once you have all of your beads strung, kind of gently but firmly press them so that they're touching the very end of the tassel. You don't want these big gaps, otherwise you're going to have a gap once you make your tag. So I take this and I string it through. Then what I'm gonna do is, again, make sure that you're pressing your beads back. I'm gonna get my tag as close to the beads as I can. I'm gonna take this end, I'm gonna go around, underneath, or behind, whatever you wanna say, behind this string that's holding these beads. And then, so it kind of creates this loop. I'm like, if you can see the angle with my phone. And then bring this top part through that loop, because you're making a knot. And again, I want my tag to be touching my beads so that there's not a huge gap. There will be some, you want some movement, that's okay. You just don't want like 3 inches of a gap. And then I'm gonna repeat that process to create a knot. So take the end, go between basically your table and the string. It creates this loop, and bring it back, the end through that loop, and tighten into a knot. So that is going to create a knot, and then that is your tassel. You can do the same thing. You can trim it, or what I do is I go up through at least 3 or 4 of the beads. I mean, you could do it all the way to the end, but if I have a lot of string left, then usually I will trim it after a few. Oh, I guess I might as well go through because I am almost, there we go. And then I'll trim it from here. Being careful not to trim the string that is for your actual garland. There we go. And that is your tassel. If you need a closer view, I can't really see the screen on my phone while I'm doing this. So if you need a closer view, then let me know and I will have one of my kids hold the phone closer while I do the tag. Let me know if you have a question on any other piece and I am happy to walk you through.